Fenty is coming out with what I consider to be their most exciting release of the year. This is their diamond capsule, and it includes 3 extremely sparkly shadow sticks, a body lava in their iconic How Many Carats, a gloss bomb shimmer stick in How Many Carats, and 3 brand new shades of their iconic diamond bomb. I have almost all of these pieces to go over and do swatches, try-ons, and comparisons. I know how much y'all appreciate seeing comparisons, and it's just fun to see how some of these products compare to other products we know and love. So let's go ahead and get into it. All of the products I talk about will be linked in the description box below. Let's start off by swatching the OG. This is the Diamond Bomb in How Many Carats. This product is so iconic, and it's really set the stage for so many other sheer diamond-like toppers that have come out after it. Next, we have the Fenty Shadow Sticks Diamonds in How Many Carats. This actually came out a few months ago, but now it's available at Ulta, and I think it's going to be more widely available in general. It's a new sparkly shadow stick, and the formula is also new to Fenty. It's not a particularly wet formula. I would describe it sort of as a gel texture, and you can use it all on its own or tapped over a matte shadow or on the inner corner. It stays put really nicely, and what's nice about this as an eyeshadow is that it has more opacity than the Diamond Bomb does. Okay, next we have the Gloss Bomb Shimmer Stick in How Many Carats. As many of you may know, Fenty came out with the shimmer stick formula earlier this year, but this is a new shade, and basically it is completely sheer and it has diamond-like sparkle throughout. Releasing this shade is such a smart move, not only because of the other How Many Carats products, but because Diamond Milk was one of their most iconic shades, and it's actually one that they don't currently carry. Just like the other Gloss Bomb Shimmer Sticks, this formula is incredibly sparkly, and the sparkle particles are a little bit larger than the Gloss Bomb Luminizers, so you see them more on the lips. I personally find this formula to be very comfortable, but if you haven't tried it, I always advocate trying one shade before multiple shades, just to make absolutely sure that you get on with the formula. The last product in this little How Many Carats family is the Body Lava. I haven't tried any of the Body Lavas before this, but I do have a hard time passing up anything that is the How Many Carats shade, so I felt that this was a good time to give this a whirl. One thing I'll say is that, wow, these are definitely pricey. Like, these are almost $60, so you can absolutely guarantee that I am going to be using this. It's a beautiful icy tone, and it's going to go really well with my other How Many Carats products. If you've tried any of the other Body Lava shades, you'll have to let me know in the comments both what you think of this formula and if you have any favorite shades. Now, starting off with a little How Many Carats demo, I'm taking the Shadow Sticks Diamonds and just tapping it over a matte shadow. I find this formula easy to work with, and I love the intensity of the shimmer. And then, of course, I had to take How Many Carats Diamond Bomb, and I placed it with their highlighting blush all over the cheeks. It's a classic for a reason. The sparkle is so finely milled that I find that it really doesn't emphasize texture. That's the beauty of the Diamond Bomb. Now I'm taking the Gloss Bomb Shimmer Stick and placing it over a deep brown lip liner. I already really love how this look is coming together in general. I love being able to coordinate the shades between different products. I ended up using the Body Lava on my upper chest, and here is the final look. It's icy, it's smoky, it's sparkly, all vibes I love. And for these set of products, I do have a few comparisons. I won't do comparisons of the OG How Many Carats because I do have a whole video on sheer diamond-like toppers. For the Gloss Bomb Shimmer Stick How Many Carats, I'm going to compare it to Revlon's Sparkling Quartz. This is one of their sparkly lip balms. This is one of the first shades that I could think of from another brand that might possibly be like it. But as you can see in the swatch, the sparkle particles are quite a bit smaller. And in my opinion, the overall effect is just not as striking as the How Many Carats Diamond Bomb Shimmer Stick. And then next, I had to do a little comparison with the OG Diamond Milk Gloss Bomb. This is quite a beloved shade, and for good reason. A sheer, very sparkly gloss is so versatile. And you can see in the swatch that it is much more on par with the level of sparkle that you get with the Gloss Bomb Shimmer Stick. And you can see all three swatched here, and I honestly think the Gloss Bomb Shimmer Stick wins by way of degree of sparkle. And by the way, all of my swatches are labeled from the wrist down. When it comes to the Fenty Shadow Sticks Diamonds and how many carats, I really only had 2 products to compare to it. That's not to say that there might not be other products out on the market that are like it in some way, but I personally don't have any shadow sticks or sparkly stick forms of this type of product. From Juicy, we have their gel highlighting stick in the shade H1. This is definitely a similar concept to the Fenty Shadow Sticks. The formula is different because it's kind of a water-based gel texture, and the effect is that it's more kind of scattered sparkle than it is a high intensity in opacity. And next we have the shade H2. And you'll be able to see as I'm swatching it that this one does have a higher opacity, but it has more of a pearlized finish. And it's not quite as sparkly, but that being said, the Juicy highlighting sticks are meant to be a little bit more multi-purpose. And here's what all 3 shades look like swatched to my arm. I think it's cool to see just how many different ways there are of doing sheer diamond-like toppers. Okay, now we have one of the products that I was probably the most excited for. This is the Lavender Diamond Balm in the shade Lavender Lover. To my knowledge, Fenty has never done a shade quite like this before. For sure, a lot of the diamond balms have been warmer toned. This is one of the few cool toned besides how many carats that I've seen. I've had a few people ask me what I would say this is most similar to, whether it's like the original Diamond Balm How Many Carats, or whether it's more like some of the other shades like Rosé Rave. I would say it's more akin to the latter in terms of its texture and its sparkle intensity. You of course get that same scattered sparkle effect, which I feel like is part of what is so beloved about the Fenty Diamond Balm. Like, there are definitely more opaque highlighters on the market, but when it comes to this type of shade, it's really nice to have something like this where the sparkles are very dispersed, small and finely milled. It just looks so kind of gleaming on the skin. It also avoids having a white cast, which is the case with a lot of kind of sparkly purple highlighters, which I'm going to show you in some of the comparisons as well. Now, in comparison to Lavender Lover, this is Pink Ice. Instead of having a purple blue sparkle, it has more of a pink blue sparkle, and it is slightly warmer toned. And I definitely do think that you'll see that when you see it in the swatch. I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, is it worth having both? Which shade should I pick up if I'm trying to pick between the two? So I'd say if you are trying to decide between the two, if you gravitate more toward pink, this does look more pink on the skin. Or simply, are you looking for something that's a little bit cooler toned, then you're going to go more for the Lavender Lover. And here's a little close-up comparison swatch. You can see Pink Ice closest to the wrist and Lavender Lover lower down. The next newer product in this set of lavender products is the Fenty Shadow Sticks Diamonds in the shade Miss Prissy. This shade goes super well with both the highlighter and with the lip products that have come out this year. It has an icy lavender base with silver, blue, and lavender sparkles throughout. And all 3 of the Shadow Sticks Diamond shades have a similar gel texture. Since I'm swatching lavender products, I also wanted to show you the Gloss Bomb Shimmer Stick in the shade Icy Amethyst. This goes with these other shades super well. It has a very sheer lavender base and those same blue, silver, and purple sparkles throughout. We also have Miss Jellyfish. This is the Gloss Bomb Oil, and these came out earlier this year as well. It's got the same very kind of pale lavender base with purple, blue, and silver sparkles throughout. And here is what swatches of all of those lavender products look like on my arm. There's been other lavender products to come out this year, but I really wanted to focus on the ones that are still currently available and don't seem to be limited edition, at least not for now. For my look, using a bunch of the lavender products, I started off with Miss Prissy and I just put it into the center of my halo eye, and then I took Lavender Lover and I was blown away with the way that this one looked on the skin. Next, I'm going in with Miss Jellyfish and I paired it with a deeper brown liner. Here is my completed look. I absolutely love how it came out. I just love how well these lavender products pair together. And I think the fact that they have the same tones and the same sparkle colors in them is just such a vibe. For the look that I created using pink ice, I didn't have a matching eyeshadow, but I did have a gloss bomb shimmer stick that pairs well with it. I think this shade looks beautiful on the skin. It's a little bit less electric than Lavender Lover, at least on me, but still really pretty, and I paired it with Flamingo Fling in the Gloss Bomb Shimmer Stick. Somebody told me that Flamingo Fling seemed like one of the most underrated Gloss Bomb Shimmer Sticks. Honestly, cool pinks like these are not tones that I typically go for in a lip product, but recently I've been wanting to play around with them a little bit more. Okay, let's get into some short but sweet comparisons with Miss Prissy. We have Danessa Myricks Starling. This is one of the new Color Fix sticks. You can see in the swatch that it's a little bit deeper than Miss Prissy, but it also has blue and silver sparkles in it. Next, we have the shade Meteorite, also from Danessa Myricks. I honestly think this one is pretty darn close to Miss Prissy. It's slightly lighter in tone. Of course, its texture is different, and I think that the foil formula from Danessa Myricks is a little bit more sparkly. This is the shade The Dreamies from Half Magic. The tone of the shade is overall pretty similar to Miss Prissy. I will say it doesn't have quite as much of a dispersed sparkle look to it. It doesn't have as much blue in it either, but similar vibes. Next, we have the shade Baby Bunny. This is one of the Half Magic shimmery liquid shadows. Honestly, I would say the vibes of this one are pretty similar. It has a little bit more of a wet look on the skin, and then of course the formula is different since it's a liquid shadow. This is Iridized Violet from Juicy. It's a brand new shade in their Jelly Highlighter Stick range. A little bit deeper in tone, and it has a gel water-based texture. A little bit less cool toned as well. This is Gummy Grape from Moira. I would say overall it's very similar to the formula from Juicy, and the shade is also quite similar. This is Dusk Rush from KVD. It's one of the Dazzle sticks. It's definitely a similar vibe, but it's a little bit deeper and it has more of a reddish brown base. And here's what all of the shades I just talked about look like swatched to my arm. All of the labels, like always, are from the wrist down. I have a couple other shades I wanted to compare to Lavender Lover. The first is Fembot from REM Beauty. I would say that this formula doesn't lean quite as purple. It has a balm texture and slightly larger sparkle particles. NYX No. 1 Butter is a little bit lighter in tone. It's definitely more opaque. It doesn't have the same scattered sparkle effect as the Fenty Diamond Balm. Unicorn Kiss from Shine by SD has a similar tone, and same with the sparkle particles. It has those blue and silver sparkle particles, but it is definitely much more opaque than the Fenty Diamond Balm. And here's some labeled comparison swatches with Fenty's Lavender Lover. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I just think that the Fenty Diamond Balm formula is very unique. Even though we have other purple highlighters out, I have not seen one that has this same kind of piecey scattered sparkle, and I think it's part of what makes the Fenty Diamond Balm as approachable as it is. Now, I did do some comparison swatches with Fenty's Pink Ice, but I honestly didn't find that anything was very similar, so I'm just going to put those labeled swatches up on the screen now, just as reference in case you're curious. Rosé Rave, which is right underneath Pink Ice, has a warmer tone and has gold mixed into its sparkles. The Physicians Formula 1 has similar scattered sparkles, but is completely different in its shade. The last set of products I'm going to show you are those more golden champagne toned ones. I did not pick up Trophy Wife to swatch, and part of the reason is because I have Golden Ruler and I think it's so similar. It's a gold toned diamond balm, so I can't do a comparison with that one, but I am going to use it in my look. Right now I'm swatching Fenty Shadow Sticks Diamond in the shade Champion. I would describe it as a golden champagne with silver sparkles. I paired it with this Fenty Gloss Bomb Oil in the shade Superfine Sugar, and I used this shade because I knew it was going to pair so well with Champion because it has those beautiful golden sparkles throughout. Even though I didn't pick up the shade Trophy Wife, I think it's going to have a similar vibe to Golden Ruler from the Arcane collection. If you happen to have both, definitely let us know in the comments how they compare. And then for my final look, I'm going to start off by going in with Champion, and I'm going to place it on the inner portion of my halo eye. You can really see that this shade leans a little bit on the cooler side, and then I'm going in with Golden Ruler and I'm just adding it to the top of the cheekbones. I know it's not Trophy Wife, but I'm pretty sure you're going to get a similar effect with Trophy Wife. Finishing off the look with the Gloss Bomb Oil in the shade Superfine Sugar. To be completely honest, I wasn't expecting to enjoy creating a golden look quite as much as I did. I've been gravitating a lot to cooler tones recently, but here is the final look and I really like how it turned out. You can probably tell I just had the best time using these products. Alright, now that we've had a chance to really dive in and do some detailed swatches, some comparisons, a whole bunch of looks, I'll give you my wrap-up thoughts. I feel a similar level of excitement about this launch as I did with the REM Beauty Fembot collection. I truly love it when brands take products that are known and loved and give us new, fun, and interesting twists. I love seeing the new shades of the Diamond Bombs. I love seeing coordinated colors between some of the other products. I also love to see sparkly eyeshadow sticks from Fenty. In my opinion, they haven't done fun eyeshadow products in just about forever. My absolute right off the bat favorite pieces from the collection are Lavender Lover, the Gloss Bomb Shimmer Stick in the shade How Many Carats, and Fenty Shadow Sticks Diamonds in How Many Carats. My main critique is that I would love to see some alt beauty shades in the mix. I'd love to hear what you think of this collection, what your favorite parts of the collection are, and what you hope to see Fenty do in the future. I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.